I think for me, every game is a big game for us. I think that you have to stack the days, and of course, you don't want to lose two in a row, especially here on your home court.
Picture this. The stadium lights are blinding, the crowd is roaring, and the fate of millions of fans' emotions rests on the shoulders of a single player. But what if I told you before these athletes even step on the field, they perform some of the strangest, scariest, and downright unbelievable rituals you've ever heard of? From puking on purpose, to channeling demonic forces, to literally getting slapped in the face until they bleed, this is not the NFL you thought you knew. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the weirdest pregame rituals in NFL history, and trust me, you won't look at your favorite players the same way again. We'll face Brian Dawkins becoming Weapon X before games. Some players listen to music, others pray. But Brian Dawkins? He transformed himself into a monster. He called himself Weapon X after Marvel's Wolverine. This wasn't just a nickname, it was an identity. Dawkins would growl, snarl, slam his head, and act like a wild animal in the locker room, terrifying teammates and opponents alike. Some swore he wasn't even human once the ritual kicked in. The way he attacked the field was so ferocious, you'd believe he really thought he was Wolverine. His pregame ritual was so extreme it even sparked investigations. Was Dawkins losing his mind, or had he found a way to become superhuman? T-shirt Patrick Mahomes. The dirty secret now. Brian Dawkins' ritual was terrifying, but Patrick Mahomes? His is straight up disgusting. And it all revolves around his underwear. Yeah, you heard me right. Patrick Mahomes has admitted he's worn the same exact pair of underwear for every single NFL game of his career. His wife even gave them to him as a lucky charm. No washing. No replacing. Just sweat, dirt, and years of, well, let's not even imagine. When his teammates exposed the truth, fans were shocked. Hall of Famers even investigated to see if it was real. And Mahomes just smiled and confirmed it. That's right. The face of the NFL has been carrying around the dirtiest ritual in football history. Oncoming fist John Henderson, the pain game, but maybe you think gross is bad. Wait until you hear about John Henderson, the 6 feet 7 inches, 350-pound beast who actually needed to get slapped in the face before games. This wasn't just a little tap. Henderson would scream, "Hit me harder," and teammates, or even coaches, would wind up and crack him across the face. His eyes would water, blood would sometimes trickle, and he'd demand another, and another, and another. It wasn't enough for Henderson to play football. He needed to feel pain, to get angry, to unleash the monster inside. Watching him get slapped before kickoff is still one of the wildest sights in NFL history. Mage Tom Brady, cursed by a witch? Now, if you thought the GOAT Tom Brady became the greatest just because of his arm, think again. According to Brady himself, his ex-wife Giselle would perform witch-like rituals before games to give him an advantage. Brady admitted to having lucky stones, chanting written mantras, and even keeping statues of foreign gods in his locker. He claimed Giselle told him, "If you don't follow my instructions, you'll fail." And shockingly, every time he obeyed, he won. Fans brushed it off as a joke, but when you realize Brady won 7 Super Bowls, you can't help but wonder, did the witchcraft actually work? Or did Brady sell his soul to stay on top? Nauseated face Josh Allen, the vomit ritual. Now here's one that will make your stomach turn. Josh Allen, one of the league's brightest stars, has a ritual where he pukes before games. On purpose. This started in college, when he noticed he played better after throwing up. Instead of seeing a doctor, Allen embraced it. Now, every game, he empties his stomach as a twisted reset button. And get this, it actually works. He's thrown more touchdowns than ever while following this disgusting tradition. Other legends were horrified when they learned the truth, but Allen doesn't care. To him, greatness is worth the nausea. Octopus Greg Hardy, becoming the Kraken, but some rituals aren't gross, they're terrifying. Former NFL star Greg Hardy claimed he transformed into a sea monster before games. He called his alter ego the Kraken, after the legendary octopus that destroyed ships. Days before a game, Hardy said he'd unlock the Kraken in his subconscious. By Sunday, he wasn't Greg anymore. He was something else. He painted his face, wore red contacts, scribbled Kraken across his jersey, and stalked the field like a villain from a horror movie. The NFL even had to ban his face paint after realizing how disturbing it was. Watching Hardy warm up was like watching a man possessed. Fish Marshawn Lynch, talking to fish tanks, but few were stranger than Marshawn Beast Mode Lynch. While fans thought he was just obsessed with Skittles, Lynch hinted at a much darker ritual. He once bought a fish tank with a bottle of Hennessy inside. Before games, Lynch admitted to drinking, and sometimes even talking to inanimate objects in the locker room. If the NFL had caught him, he could have been banned for a year. But Lynch always found a way to hide it, keeping his secret ritual alive while bulldozing defenders. Crying face Puka Nakua, tears before kickoff, and then there's one ritual that's not crazy or gross, but heartbreaking. Rookie sensation Puka Nakua has a tradition of crying before every single game.
Why?
Because his father, who trained him from childhood and pushed him to greatness, passed away before ever seeing him play in the NFL. As a kid, Puka wasn't allowed cartoons, only game film. His dad would tackle him in the backyard, preparing him for Sundays under the lights. Now, before every game, Puka takes a moment to cry, to feel the presence of his father, to honor the man who gave everything for his dream. Even after breaking rookie records, Puka hasn't stopped. Because some rituals aren't about winning, they're about love, loss, and remembering where you came from. Outro. Powerful finish. So there you have it. The NFL's darkest, weirdest, and most shocking pregame rituals. From underwear superstitions, to witchcraft, to vomiting, to crying for a lost father. The truth is, these players aren't just athletes. They're humans with fears, with pain, with quirks that help them survive the crushing weight of football's biggest stage. Which one shocked you the most? Dawkins becoming Wolverine? Brady's witchcraft? Or Puka Nakua's heartbreaking tribute? Let us know in the comments below. And hey, don't forget to subscribe because trust me, the world of sports is stranger than you could ever imagine. Weirdest pregame rituals in NFL history, Part 2. Intro, suspenseful hook. Last time, we uncovered some of the strangest rituals in NFL history. Players puking on purpose, channeling witchcraft, and even slapping themselves bloody before games. But believe it or not, that was just the beginning. Because today, we're diving even deeper into the bizarre, the shocking, and the downright disturbing rituals that NFL legends have sworn by. From eating dirt, to crying in the shower, to full-on exorcisms, these are the weirdest pregame rituals in NFL history, Part 2. Grab your seat, because this ride gets darker than you think. Cut of meat Ray Lewis. The gladiator sacrifice Ray Lewis wasn't just a linebacker, he was a myth. Before every game, Lewis performed what teammates called the gladiator ritual. He'd lock himself in the locker room, slam his helmet against the wall, and scream prayers so loud the floor shook. Then he'd pound his chest until it turned red, declaring, "Somebody has to die tonight." For Lewis, it wasn't football, it was war. He believed he was entering a coliseum, and only by convincing himself he was a gladiator could he dominate. His teammates admitted it scared them, but when Lewis stormed out, opponents knew something unholy was coming. Ice Cube Brett Favre. The ice bath obsession, some guys stretch. Brett Favre? He sat in a tub of freezing ice water. Not after the game, before. Favre believed that shocking his body with cold made him wake up like nothing else. He would sit in ice water until his skin turned purple, teeth chattering, refusing to come out. Coaches begged him to stop, fearing hypothermia, but Favre swore it gave him an edge. Think about it. You've got to be insane to freeze yourself solid before throwing a football 60 yards, but Favre was insane enough to make it work. Hamburger Chad Ochocinco. The McDonald's addiction for Chad Ochocinco Johnson. The road to greatness didn't start with a protein shake or chicken breast. It started with McDonald's. Before every game, Chad devoured fast food, burgers, fries, even McFlurries. He believed his body was used to it, so junk food made him play better. While other athletes hired personal chefs, Ochocinco literally lined up for a Big Mac before torching defenders for touchdowns. Doctors warned him. Teammates laughed at him. But Ochocinco swore by it, saying, If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And for years, he proved them wrong on the field. Ricky Williams. Talking to himself in the mirror, Ricky Williams wasn't just eccentric, he was spiritual. Before games, Ricky would stand in front of a mirror for hours. He'd talk to himself, reciting affirmations like, "You are unstoppable. You are fearless. You are bigger than this game." Some teammates found it inspiring. Others thought it was unsettling, like Ricky was staring into another dimension. The truth? Ricky suffered from crippling social anxiety. This ritual wasn't about football, it was about survival. Looking into that mirror was the only way he could convince himself to face 70,000 screaming fans. Axe Adrian Peterson. The Axe ritual. Adrian Peterson's ritual is one of the most intense you'll ever hear. Before